Dicejunkies. I'm Xenodamus. I'm here with
Q.
and on Skype.
Bloodaxe.
Mr. Bloodaxe.
It is the Mr. Bloodaxe.
What's that call tag? What's that call number?
TK74676. You 501st out there.
Anyway, let's get started with, are we talking, nope, not Batgirl, She-Hulk. Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, no Batgirl. No Batgirl.
It's all the same.
Batgirl gone.
I did actually watch the first episode of She-Hulk. You know, I figured since our boy Q had to suffer through Batgirl.
No, it's Batwoman.
Or Batwoman.
Batwoman.
Well, this is Batgirl cancellation.
Yes, Batgirl, the
movie,
show. They're talking
the
about
movie.
the movie that's not coming out.
You know what? It doesn't really matter, I guess.
Ooh, you know, that may be the one that actually gets us in trouble. Out of everything we're going to say today, it doesn't really matter, despite the truth of it. Boom.
All right.
But thank you. You put an extra smile on my face. Batwoman and Batgirl have been canceled.
After Batgirl cancellation, She-Hulk cast and creators stress importance of studios supporting female-led superhero projects.
No, go, because I got a thing. I'm gonna let y'all get y'all words out because y'all know how I feel about this.
Basically, the argument is because Batgirl got canceled, you gotta keep supporting She-Hulk, regardless of whether or not it is a good or bad show. And that's, I mean,
pathetic.
Yeah, here's my thing. I did not like it. I watched it. I will continue to watch it just because I know he continued to watch Batwoman for so long. I will watch the whole She-Hulk, as painful as it may be. Maybe it picks up. I mean, we've seen shows pick up before. But that first episode was miserable.
Lawyer show.
And
that's at the end.
Yeah. And I will say, you know, it may not be miserable to other people. It was miserable to me. And so normally I would not watch this show if it wasn't because of us doing this series, this podcast. I would not watch this show. I would have stopped before I even finished the first episode. But regardless of that, and regardless of my dislike for the show, I would never go out there and say this show needs to be canceled.
Oh, no.
But at the same time, I'm not going to say it doesn't need to be canceled just because of woman. And that's the main thing about this particular article is you can't say something shouldn't be canceled just because of a gender. I mean,
yeah. And before I just to throw this in a quick injection because I want to explain that too because we grew up being fans of like Palladium and D&D when it wasn't popular, so we understand niche audiences.
Yeah.
So I'll never say cancel this show. Now, if the show's just bad, I'll say I don't like the show. I don't know why it's on the air.
Yeah.
But if there's an audience for it, I don't care if I find it offensive. If there's an audience for it, it's an audience for it.
And a good studio is going to be looking at those numbers, and if it gets the numbers, then you keep the show.
But
you know?
But at the same time, man, I mean, if there isn't an audience.
There's polls and all this stuff. You start marketing it to your audience. You go, these are the people that like this show. This is who we want to get this out to. You should watch this show. You'll enjoy it. Other people, maybe not. But you guys are going to like it. So come on and watch it. Other people, try it. See what you think. If you don't like it, you don't have to watch it.
I mean, what's it called? What's the term? Cult classic? There's a bunch of stuff out there that has a very specific audience. So we will say that. Bloodaxe. Oh, sorry. You got more?
No, go ahead.
So I got two things. Number one, it's Disney. And Disney's not going to stop making stuff just because, you know, it's woke and people don't watch it. I mean, look at the, what was that? The Marvel girl that was on that I just have no idea. Anyway.
It's Marvel, yes.
Yeah, but number two, why say don't cancel because of Batgirl when we supported WandaVision? It was a female-led superhero show. We all watched it. It was okay. It wasn't anything to write home about. It wasn't The Mandalorian, but still, we supported that.
And that was one of my references to it got better, honestly. It was WandaVision.
Yeah.
WandaVision, I thought,
when it
sucked
became
at
a
first.
superhero series,
it got better.
when it got into the like stuff getting real, yeah.
I think you should have started with episode 4 and then gone 1, 2, 3, then 5, in that order, because that way 1, 2, and 3 would have made a whole lot more sense. Because it was kind
also,
of
they also could have shortened it.
Yeah,
in the beginning.
It would have been more interesting if we would have known that there was something happening and it was being investigated by Sword, and then we saw what was going on in in the 60s and whatever. But I mean, there's several references of people will support good stories that are written well. Hell, we were talking was it yesterday, day before, about we grew up on Terminator and Aliens, and they were all female led. And we didn't care if it was male or female. It was a good story. It was well written. There was action. There was suspense. And same thing with She-Hulk. If it would be well written, and Xeno says, "Hey, I watched it and it was okay," and the second episode goes, "Oh, it's hard to pick up and getting really good," I'll go back and watch it. But based on all the feedback except for one, I had one of my gaming buddies said he actually liked it. But he's in Puerto Rico, so maybe it's written for the Puerto Rican audience. I don't know. That's entirely possible. But for the most part, what I've seen review-wise and from what you guys have told me, I'm not the target audience.
No, you're not.
If there are people that enjoy it, good for you. I'm glad you found something you like on Disney, because the only thing on Disney I enjoy watching is the old reruns of Star Wars, man. I mean, we watched Guardians of the Galaxy a couple nights ago, but other than that, there's nothing on there for me. But I'm glad there's stuff on there for you, because you need entertainment too. You don't have to make everything for me, but just because I don't like your entertainment, don't belittle me or call me phobic or whatever, because I don't enjoy your trash, and that's fine. And if you don't like my, big boobs and guns and fast cars type action movies, then don't say anything about those, because that's written for me. That's not written for you. And you got on this double standard business is gone way too far. It's been going on for almost a decade now, and it's about time that we just stand up for ourselves and start voicing our displeasure the way that they kind of group together and they mob on Twitter and all of these other social media platforms. We probably should start doing the same. Of course, we'll get banned real fast, but that's beside the point.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the best way to say it too about whether you like it is just like, I know why he's saying that too. This isn't a spoiler. Like, they already have the film-splain moment where basically literally does the I get catcalled, I get talked down to, I may get murdered all the time. Just this fear-mongering concept that women walk around in a permanent state of constant danger, which I find amusing, because every time I've seen anything happen to a woman, I and nearly every man nearby rush to help. Like, so I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry. Anyway, the point is that they create an atmosphere that's hostile to male audiences that aren't already very sympathetic to that point of view. So I get why its target audience is not Bloodaxe, and it's not even me, because I'm actually pretty open-minded about it. I understand, yeah, man, it's not easy. Guys can be a-holes. I mean, I'm a guy. I know guys that are a-holes. I hear guys say messed up stuff. I play Gears of War. We've been sitting on a mic and somebody say something messed up and everybody's just like, ooh, god dang, man, okay, that was a bit strong. But on your show to just play like it's this constant horror, no. You can walk up to the average woman and ask her, and she'll be like, no, I'm fine. But anyway, my biggest thing is I'm a nerd. See, now we've said why it shouldn't be canceled for having a point of view. Because while I'm not the target audience, if there's an audience for this, if there's a niche audience of superhero fans that hate male superheroes and men in general, this is their show. But what I got is that you don't know what they're talking about. I'm sorry. Nerd time. Time to pull up my nerd card. What does Batgirl got to do with She-Hulk? Batgirl's DC. Batgirl's DC. She-Hulk's Marvel. Batgirl is a whole nother company. It's Warner. They're Disney. Batgirl being canceled is good for She-Hulk. That's the competition.
Well, I mean, Batgirl Batgirl was a movie, and apparently they, they talk about Kevin Feige was among the first to reach out to the Batgirl directors when with their shared their sympathy and all that stuff.
Yes, you do have to look good.
So
yes.
I mean, it's yes. While the context is of different studios, different. It's still superhero related, and it's also still Hollywood related, man. And all the Hollywood people run together, regardless of what studio they're working for at any given time. So, basically, this boiled down to is they were relating the sympathy for the Batgirl's cancellation that they had, and said, well, and then basically, in a way, they're trying to strong arm their bosses
to not cancel
their
bad.
show.
Because Batgirl was canceled for being bad.
By using the example that somebody else got canceled. And
Which
saying,
is funny,
oh, well,
because you might not want to remind your bosses that someone else had enough sense to cancel something before the brand was ruined. That's usually not a good idea, because Disney is about money also. But you say that, and I get what you're trying to do, but I'm going to stand. But then I said, I didn't say as a logical. I'm saying as a nerd. Come on, comic book nerds. We're like, this is DC, you're Marvel, you're competitors. You know what I'm saying? It's just like they tried to say She-Hulk was one of the first major, like, it's finally a feminist superhero. I'm like, what happened to Wonder Woman? Wonder Woman's literally a freaking Amazon.
Well, the thing is,
like a literal Amazon.
You really want to talk about something.
And awesome. Gal Gadot was amazing.
Using the fact that She-Hulk is a female superhero lead, whatever, and that's why she shouldn't be canceled, is honestly just bad planning. If that's going to be your excuse, because Marvel has a lot of female superheroes
way
right
more
now.
popular than She-Hulk.
So,
well, yeah, they're almost all. They got Ironheart, Captain Marvel, Ms. Marvel, Captain Carter.
So trying to use
Captain Marvel.
So trying to use that as the reason not to cancel your show is probably not the best argument.
Alternate universe Wanda.
Yeah.
And then they still got they still got in the cut Storm, Rogue, Jean Grey, baby. You know what I'm saying? They ain't even pulled out the big guns yet. The the X-Men.
They're a lot more interesting than American Chavez. I cannot wait for the mutants. Hopefully they're done correctly. But when we get into the X people, whatever they're going to call them, I might tune back in. But for right now, all the Phase 4,
Iceman, gay
I'm
mutant.
just not interested in any. Shang-Chi, not you guys know me. I'm not really into the whole Asian thing. Not my interest. The Eternals, really, it was a waste of time.
Shang-Chi was pretty good, but the Eternals.
Yeah, the most interesting was the Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, and even that, pushed the boundaries of my entertainment that I enjoy, which is why I've been dragging my heels on watching it, because again, I've heard the reviews and I heard that it's basically the America Chavez show and
Wanda show. It's the Wanda show.
Yeah, it's more Wanda show, and
it's WandaVision 2.
It's not that bad. I enjoyed it.
But America Chavez is the bestest ever, and she's not affected.
That's Wanda.
No,
that's Wanda.
Oh, is it? Okay.
It's there. It's just you're getting the wrong female. It's Wanda.
Yeah, but again, I don't want to see twisted evil Wanda. That's not. It wasn't done properly enough. I saw the path they were trying to take with it in WandaVision. But I don't think that they got me to the point where I could understand her going ballistic. So
they needed another season of WandaVision. I think they should have did at least one more with her, the more Darkhold.
I will say it was
building up.
It was a bit of a push.
Heel face turn, just instant.
But at the same time, they didn't do a horrible job at it.
And after that, the only thing that I'm even remotely interested in is the next Guardians movie, Thor: Love and Thunder. Pass.
Oh, no.
I did watch Black Widow. It was interesting. It was
horrible.
Okay. But it was 5 years too late. They should have done that way before.
Sadly, it wasn't. The Black Widow was not the best part of the Black Widow movie.
Nah, it was a good one. Yeah. He was such an a-hole, but he was funny.
But we all knew she was dead, so a lot of people checked out mentally because There's going to be no future for it. If they would have done it before Endgame, that probably would have had a lot more interest from the audience. I would have been more interested in it.
Now, see, and that would have been a better angle to go with, is trying to use She-Hulk to fill in the gap of Black Widow. Is the reason why you don't need to cancel it. Is but
yeah, actually referencing that Black Widow was dead, and now that would have made more sense. Use your own franchise. But as for a finisher, the thing we all three said too is that there's no way to ruin your legitimacy and lose respect faster than to beg for special treatment with no merit. To not say I would have rather they even went with we're telling a special message that should get out there. Okay. We're trying to present something that hasn't been done yet, which this is the most feminist of the superhero things I've seen so far. Because, I mean, the first episode, they're already doing the speeches and the on and on about how much better I am than you. So this is hardcore. Yeah. Batwoman didn't start this strong. Like, this is the strongest one episode in hardcore.
The trailer did a horrible portrayal for She-Hulk as well. Like, because the original trailers was just her going off on everything. Bruce did get his punches in. I will say.
Bruce called her on a few.
Bruce called her on a few. He got some punches in. And actually, he had some good moments. But it was still a little
he took it pretty hard.
Strong.
No.
Yeah.
No, and like the getting knocked over by the Jeep and beat up, at least for a while, But yeah, I mean, it's got an audience, it's got a message. But to say don't cancel it just because we're women.
It was very obvious what they were doing. They're trying to play She-Hulk to be that super strong feminist woman.
Already perfect at everything.
She's got the main book that's displayed that you can really see in the background of her first scene is Badass Women. That's the title of the book that they keep displaying in the background.
Then let's say this. I know you don't want to bring it up, but then why didn't they pick an actress that comes off stronger, man? Like, why didn't they get, like, we watch anime, we've seen good dubs, we've seen movies. Why didn't they pick an actress that projects? She doesn't.
I don't know. I didn't hate
sell
it
to me.
I didn't hate
I don't know.
Because
Maybe I grew up with too many
back
really
Gina
good
Carano.
actresses. Angelina Jolie, Sigourney Weaver. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Bloodaxe.
Well, no, they can't bring back Gina Carano, who would have been a perfect opportunity for She-Hulk, because she does have that aura of femininity, but also I'm going to kick your ass. Or I mean, if they really wanted to go with the whole MMA style, but with an attractive woman, I mean, even Ronda Rousey would not have been a bad possible choice.
Yeah, but
Ronda Rousey.
I mean, I don't know how Ronda Rousey's acting is. And
I don't know.
I mean, it can't be much worse than what we're getting. Come on, dude. Don't tell me you think the acting is good.
But if no one's watching the show, who cares how bad her acting is?
I didn't think her acting was horrible.
You'll
Not
attract
that she's a bad actress, but the role she's trying to portray. I'm sorry. Go ahead, man.
But you would bring people to the show because it's Ronda Rousey. They want to see.
You would bring people to the show because of Ronda Rousey, but like I said, I don't hate the actress. Mostly it was the writing that I thought was bad, not necessarily as much the acting.
I mean, not to get political, so I'm not saying this to pick a side, but I forgot her name. So you remember Johnny Depp's lawyer? Now that was a badass woman. No nonsense lawyer, man. So I'm like, she doesn't sell it to me. Maybe it's just because of the recent trial, I've seen really good lawyers. And I'm just like, she doesn't give off that I'm an aggressive go-getter lawyer.
I will say they did play her off as far as a lawyer. When it was just her, she was a bit more meek, which contrasted weird with the I'm going to make fun of one of the most scary, strongest things in the world.
Also
and
one
talk
of the smartest men in the world.
But then when she was in her office practicing her speech, she came off as a little meek, so it didn't really...
she comes off really mousy to me when she's not femsplaining. That's the only time she seems to be aggressive is when she's attacking a man. But as a lawyer, she didn't come up. Even when she did her big speech, I'm just like, you're not...
Well, she never did the big speech.
Oh, yeah, I got interrupted by Tatiana.
So, anyway...
She just
back to the original point to wrap this up is don't use gender of any kind
Don't ask for special treatment.
To garner why your show shouldn't be canceled. Because I mean, it belittles the show. Because if the show was good,
you don't have to beg.
Well, also if the show was good and you said this, in people's mind,
it got supported because you said this.
Now, because you said this, it's always going to be what you're just around because they're trying to push
That's a good point. You actually taint now if you end up doing well because people think, no, it's because they said you better do it because it's a woman show. So dang it, they even cut off their accolades. Smart. I didn't even think about that side.
Just a player, playing